Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the...
Abstain because I was not here on the 7th.
Okay. I'm voting aye. I was not here, but I watched the proceedings, and will vote accordingly.
Okay.
Right, got that? So 3-1 abstention. And then record plats tonight?
Good evening. There are two plats on the record plat agenda. The first one is RP 3253 2013, which is Parcel D of Diamond Farms, and it's for the Brown Station Elementary School. And the second plat is RP 7125 2015, and it is plat 37 of Crown Farm, and it is a partial plat of correction to remove a storm drain easement. These have been through all the reviewers and are ready for your approval.
Do you have any commission discussion?
No.
Do you have a motion for approval of the record plats as presented by staff?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Great, so unanimous. The consent agenda item tonight is AFP 7153 2015 Pet Daycare with an MXD zone 177 Booth Street. It's a confirmation that the proposed business is a business use. Do we have any? Do we have a motion for the consent agenda tonight? So,
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve consent item AFP 7153-2015.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
That's also unanimous consent agenda. And we move on to item 5, which is a recommendation to mayor and council. We have Trudy Swartz. You can introduce that for us.
Yes, sir. If I can direct you to the screen or the monitor. As we discussed at our meeting on October 7th, this is a request for annexation X7089 2015, which is in the lower corner of the city of Gaithersburg, and it's an annexation for, 8.28 acres of property. Part of the property is the public rights-of-way of Quince Orchard Road and Darnestown Road. The annexation is part of the area that is listed in the municipal growth element of the City of Gaithersburg Master Plan, and it is located in that area. As shown on these maps, it's located right in this area here. It is also in our land use plan of 2009 that was adopted in 2011 and is recommended for MXD zoning. Staff finds that the proposed petition for the annexation X7089 2015 complies with the city's master plan, that it will further the city's stated goals of promoting economic development, diversifying local economy to allow a variety of uses, allowing for redevelopment opportunities on underutilized sites. It will promote a mix of uses and increase the city's tax base. Additionally, city staff supports the proposed annexation as it will increase the area in the city for jobs, which will assist in balancing the jobs to housing ratio. And the annexation is also, as I stated, part of the maximum expansion limits. One item came up at our public meeting on the 7th, and Chairman Bauer wanted to know what the current FAR of the site is, and it is currently at 0.148 FAR. So, and what they're proposing is a 0.75 FAR. Finally, the staff finds that the proposed annexation will not be unduly burdening of the existing public facilities as outlined in the annexation plan. And we have a recommendation that the mayor and city council, A recommendation that the Planning Commission recommend to the Mayor and City Council approval of the application based upon the findings as presented in the staff analysis and the staff recommendation, and further that because the nature of the proposed project fulfills many of the city's stated goals, rendering the annexation a benefit to the greater community, and further, and this, I apologize, was not on your staff report, but we further recommend that the Planning Commission recommend a zoning designation of MXD to the Mayor and City Council.
So is that two?
That's all in one.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Trudy?
I think it just makes logical sense to, from the owner's perspective particularly, that these two shopping centers, which are really owned by by the petitioner, be allowed to develop simultaneously, if you will, and under the auspices of the city. I think it's a win-win situation for both the city as well as for the developer and the petitioner. So I'm fully in favor of it.
I'd just like to say that although I wasn't present at the meeting, I watched it on television, I reviewed the documents, and I believe there's a lot to be gained in the consistency between the two shopping centers, and I'm in favor of this as well.
Great.
Same. I agree with everything that was stated. I mean, I've frequented this area, so I know it well, and I think it's a great addition to the city. I'm looking forward to the further development.
And I think staff, I'm assuming, has some outreach to the two property owners, one to the south and one to the east of the property that we're talking about. It's still inside the expansion zone of the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that would be the
commercial
Quince Orchard
properties.
Library and the emergency services
Yeah,
station.
right.
So that's Montgomery County.
Right, for now. I think my only thought is just that, I'm a big proponent of stretching a jurisdictional boundary across a roadway. I think a lot of times we use roadways as boundaries, and they're a pretty lousy way to stop a city. It should be mid-property, frankly, so that you can actually treat both sides of the street. You can take care of pedestrian pathways. You can take care of services along those sidewalks much better if it's within the same jurisdiction. So, all in all, just from a bone standpoint, I think this is a great annexation. So, if there's no more discussion, then do we have a motion for recommendation to Mayor and Council?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Planning Commission recommend to the Mayor and City Council approval of the annexation application X7089-2015 based on the findings as presented in the staff analysis and the aforementioned staff recommendations, and that further that because the nature of the proposed project fulfills many of the city's stated goals, rendering the annexation a benefit to the greater community.
Second.
And
And that it be an
Right.
MXD
Right.
zone.
Second.
Second. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. It's a unanimous vote.
Great.
And I think we're right from the commission. Danny, do you have
No,
something tonight?
nothing tonight.
Lloyd?
Again, the city did a fantastic job of setting up and cleaning for the Oktoberfest in the Kentlands. I had heard something, I read somewhere that there were 35,000 people estimated to attended. It is huge.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
And maybe perhaps, and this is just my own personal opinion, that maybe we should or the staff should revisit the size of this and maybe bring it back down to scale from what it used to be. Because it's getting really, and I've got a lot of feedback from a lot of my neighbors about the commercialism has crept into it, and it's not as much as it was an Oktoberfest as it was just a commercial for a lot of local businesses as well as county businesses. So maybe this should be revisited and maybe scale it down again and shift it back towards the Gaithersburg City Festival, which is really more appropriate, and that really brings in a lot of people as well. So anyway, it's just my recommendation. But again, the city did a fantastic job of setting up and breaking down. By 5 p.m., you would never know there was anything that was ever held around the neighborhood, except for the pungent odor of horse things. But other than that, it was great.
Horse gifts.
Yeah.
In 4-H, we love that.
4-H.
I just want to, as a reminder, Halloween is right around the corner, and everybody should be very vigilant in driving through neighborhoods. Based on my own observation, I took a walk this morning and counted how many cars really stopped at a stop sign, and out of 27, none. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's a conversation you should be having with the
Well, I'm
police.
wondering if the police are listening
Yeah,
to this.
right.
Okay. But be very vigilant with the trick-or-treaters. I mean, bad things can happen if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you. Anything from staff tonight? Martin?
I will just maybe mention that at our December 3rd, no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong date, December 2nd Planning Commission meeting. It's our only meeting in December, and we are planning to have Rob Robinson here, our long-range planning manager, and have a pretty in-depth discussion about master planning going forward. So just kind of get you thinking about that. I'm sure you'll see some materials prior to that meeting, but that will be our December meeting.
Okay.
And other than that, Trudy?
Our next meeting is November the 4th, and then we have a second one in November, on November the 18th.
Okay.
Great. Miriam, did you have anything for us? No?
There are no joint planning, joint meetings coming up in the next 2 months that we're aware of?
Nope.
Okay.
There, I will
That's
maybe
slow.
make you aware that the county and the city of Rockville and the city of Gaithersburg's elected officials are having a joint meeting, discussion on December 3rd at the county executive office building. And you're more than welcome to attend, or I don't know if they'll be.
I'll walk there.
I don't know if they'll be televising it, but it might be available the next day, on the web. But it's mainly going to be regarding BRT and some of the transit options. But it'll be a great discussion. It's great for those three bodies to get together and have some conversations.
I think it's in that meeting room right when you go in the main entrance to the building, and then the cafeteria is the one step down, so if I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm on that same floor.
Your office. We'll meet in your office.
If that's everybody, then I think we're adjourned. Thanks.
I do it for love. Started as a flicker, meant to be a flame. Skin has gotten thicker, but it burns the same. Still